So he launched the product, sold 40 in the first week and a half, said this has got legs, I finally found the one, I guess. And I don't believe in the one, just for the record. I like to keep going. But that was it. I said, this is the one, I've got it. Started production right away. I built the first 1,000 in my garage. We've now sold over 15,000 units all over North America.
You guys are in for such a treat today. I loved him so much that I came home and I told my husband and my daughter, and I said, I just upgraded my brother. So I just replaced Josh with my brother, because I was like, you know what, he's just going to be my new brother from another mother. So I'm sure you're going to fall in love with him too. Josh Thurmond is a consummate tinkerer, from body hacks to building flamethrowers to marketing madness. He's trapped in a repeating loop of create, test, improve. Josh Thurmond is the chief eruption officer and founder of Lavabox portable campfire. When he isn't running his company, Josh develops outdoor adventure programs for people with disabilities at the National Sports Center for the Disabled. And, oh, did I mention? Josh was also on the Shark Tank. He created quite the shark frenzy, all of the sharks wanting to bite at him, and he walked away with a deal. So let's welcome Josh to the stage. We're like yin and yang. Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Here's my mic. Oh, am I holding it right now?
Yes, just
Who's
up
that?
close, up close.
Up close.
Real close, real close.
Okay. Hello, Terry.
Is it kind of awkward? No.
No, it's a little.
I was just telling them out here that, how I've adopted you as my new brother, so.
You're a pretty good sister. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
You're a very fun sister.
Thank you, thank you. So let's get started. Let's talk about, we actually had him come on our show twice, because we just loved the message that you were sharing with us. And so...
maybe I just say yes too much, too. I remember somebody say this.
Yes. And
I feel you.
You've had an interesting life. You were in law enforcement, Mary. I was right.
She was right.
You've been a chef.
It's
and
true.
now you are this inventor extraordinaire. So you've done lots of different things. Like, what has made this new adventure different from the other adventures?
All right. So there is a common thread.
Okay.
So I, as we in the intro, I do like to tinker and make things and change things, and we kind of have a philosophy at work. Of course, everybody puts up the sign on their thing. Everybody kisses it or slaps it when they walk in the door. But it's innovate, fix. Where's the kid? Stuff. We don't say stuff. And keep going. Those are the three things that we always talk about. And that thread has always been, I've tried to bring multiple things to the market. I've written treatments for TV shows. I've done all kinds of stuff like that. And I struck out every time until Lavabox. So that thread of just kind of trying to find the thing that was going to work was the thing that brought me to this place now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, not giving up hope. So what prevented you from giving up hope to finding something that was going to work?
Prozac. Kidding, sort of. Whiskey and Prozac. No. I don't know. I'm like you. I have big energy, like ready to get out there and not quit. And like I said, our third tenet of our business is to keep going. But the big one is that I like you, I grew up in special education. I was told I wasn't going to do anything. I really thought, you mentioned I was a chef. I grew up in the restaurant business, and they said, that's what you're going to do. That's who you are. It won't be an intellectual pursuit. It won't be something like that for you. And I decided that was not true. And sometimes, I don't know, you just have to turn the page on that and decide you're not that person. So that's why we say you got to keep going and be yourself.
Well, and I think that's the fuel, right? Like there's been times in my life that I've been told no so many different times that I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use that as fuel. I'm going to use that to fuel. And in the beginning, I'll be honest, I used it as watch me energy, which is not always the great. Now that I've learned, that's not always the best energy to lead with. But in the time it worked, and it worked. I was like, watch me. I'm going to do this, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I literally just told my 14-year-old. She's matriculating into high school, and it's very exciting. And she gets really upset. We all, if you have kids, and especially teenage girls, I think that there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I love that quote that what they're saying about you is none of your business. Just move on. And we talk about it a lot, and don't get hung up on that part of it. It's just you. Just put your nose down and do it. Yeah. And so that's why I have to remind her that don't worry about it. It's not your business.
Yeah. I just did this video. It says that how we take on other people's stories, right? And when they don't belong to us. Like literally, you can just say return to sender with consciousness, because when we get mail when we get physical mail and it has somebody else's. If I get a piece of mail that says Misha on here, I'm not going to just rip it open and say this is mine. I'm going to say, oh, this is not mine. I'm going to put RTS, return to sender. It's not your business. It's not yours. But we do this with other people and other things that are coming towards us.
Absolutely.
Like, we take it on. Like, no, this is not. So just RTS, return to sender, not mine. But you grew up with a learning disability as well.
Indeed.
And I think sometimes, whether it's a learning disability, whether it's any type of disability, any time a limitation that we have, I think sometimes that can get in our own minds that says we're not right. So how did you find the strength, and we were talking courage, to overcome that and push through it?
Man, it's Mike. I first want to say I'm learning a ton here. Are you guys learning like a ton? This is awesome. I was sitting back there and I'm like, these are such cool speakers. Anyway, so for me, being in the disabled community, and of course now I pay it forward and pay it back on both ends. My best friend is deaf, so just kind of lived in a world that was really pretty hard. People definitely pushed us out into the world where you're the other, and you lived in that space. And so, I don't know, he really inspired me. And it's, I don't know if you're familiar with the deaf community, but there are people who really embrace the deaf community and people who don't, who shun the deaf community or say, I want to be part of the hearing community, and then there's people who want to be only in the deaf community, the big D community. And he was one that said, I'm going to live my life outside of all of those barriers. He rejected the deafness. And it's really fascinating because you don't meet a lot of deaf people like this. But he said, it's not me. And he did. His wife is hearing. They live a life that's outside of the deaf community completely. And I thought, yeah, I can do the same thing. I don't have to be defined by this, and I don't, And so that's what happened. Is I said I can be outside of this whole thing. And he really inspired me to push through that. So I don't know. I mean, and that is
it's by making a choice. Saying,
it was 100% a choice, right?
Not making this choice.
Yeah, it was a very different. Like I said, most people I think would wilt and be in that society, and that's something he shunned and let go of. So I don't know. It did. It told me, you do you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
Not in a pejorative way, yeah.
You do you, boo, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's bring us to today. You
Okay.
have the Lavabox here.
You guys ready for the sales pitch?
And that's for $4.99. But
Hello, sharks.
it is. So explain the Lavabox and your inspiration and how it came to be.
Sure. So, like all of you, I can tell there's a lot of serious achievers here. Sit on too many boards, say yes too much to too many things. And I sit on the board of the Colorado Whitewater Association. My big sport is whitewater kayaking. And so that's actually what I brought to the National Sports Center for the Disabled, is creating all kinds of programs for people with disabilities. And of course, all my tinkering poured through that as well, because I could build adaptive equipment. I could make something on the fly that we needed to somebody who had a diminished hand control, something like that. So anyway, so I'm on the board for the Colorado Whitewater Association. We had our last trip of the year in 2020. It was really cold. Everybody was freezing. We were all wet. And this was in Kremling. Has anybody been to Kremling? You know where Kremling, Colorado. It's cold in Kremling, all the time. So we were in Kremling, and I said, all right, I'm gonna. I'd had some drinks, a couple whiskeys maybe. And somebody said, Josh, make something better than those big round pits that kind of all the stuff falls out and everything else. So I said, all right, I'll do that. I went home. I built 7 iterations the next day, Sunday. Built a web. I'm always like this, though. I could drink, not drink. It doesn't matter. I'm always like this. Terry.
This is why he's a brother from another mother. Like, you guys
always like this. Scary. And then I built a website 2 days later. Launched the product. Sold 40 in the first week and a half. Said this has got legs. I finally found the one, I guess. And I don't believe in the one, just for the record. I like to keep going. But that was it. I said this is the one. I've got it. Started production right away. I built the first 1,000 in my garage. We've now sold over 15,000 units all over North America. 40 retailers.
And yes, please.
I mean, it's exciting.
And here's the thing: is every time I see you, follow him, please. You should follow all.
Hashtag fire anytime.
But I think every time I go on there and I'm seeing it, we're pretty active together. Like you're like my brother. I'm like I'm still part of my brother here. But you just have created so many partnerships with people. I'm
really glad you asked me about that.
I just saw Christy Sports literally this week. I don't know if that's a new thing, but tell us about some of these partnerships. And I think this is important. Whether you have a company that has products or not products, like how are you creating these partnerships with these brands?
Earlier we were all talking about, or I was listening and learning, but we were all talking about lifting everyone up. And I am a huge proponent of that. Even if it's somebody bigger than me, like Christy Sports, I'm trying to find a way to make everybody feel good. And that's the whole plan. Obviously, chefing and law enforcement, we're trying to fix people, help people get to not fix people, but help people feel good. And so partnerships are critical to my business, absolutely critical. And I don't feel like it's a zero-sum game ever. Like they don't, even it's so funny. I just had a new product came on the market, and it's I won't say their name because I'm just kidding.
Can you say it?
Yeah, sure. It's called Howl. And they're from Denver, and so I reached out and with a retailer of ours, and I said a wholesaler of ours, and I said, hey, you want to do like a shootout? Like just say, here's the 2 products. This is nuts for if you're in the product world. And everyone told me I was nuts. I don't care, but I said let's.
Not being a rule follower. I'm telling you.
I don't follow any rules. But I said let's do it together. I'll help you bring your product in the market. And unfortunately, those guys decided to really say some terrible things about us and every product of the campfire world. And it was really weird because I said, you're brand new. I went through what you went through. Let's bring each other up.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not trying to tell a sad story. I'm just trying to say that there. I mean, we did it with other partners you've seen. Nonstop partnerships.
Now I wish I wouldn't have asked the name.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a cool product. I was really intrigued by the actual technical build of it. I thought the design was really smart, and so I said, hey, let's get together and let's talk about it. And unfortunately, they did that. But 99.9% of the time, it's a net positive. I mean, like every time I partner with somebody and we make a new friendship, and I do think of them as friendship. It's not all that old business ideas of, I'm just trying to get something out of them. I'm not. I just want to. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I think they're fun.
And I think if we get lift as we climb, right?
Yeah.
And we get to support each other.
I hate the zero-sum world we're in right now. I hate it.
It's changing. It's changing.
I think so too.
Slowly.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So I think we've pushed past that. We understand that like we can't live that way, right? There's a sustainability question. I want to bring up another little piece is that I did start a nonprofit at the same time that I started Lavabox called protectourrivers.org. Feel free to give money. And we do river cleanups all over the country, and it's one of the best ways for us to bring in our partners too, and that's including corporate partners. That's every player in the game can come and be part of us, and that was a huge part of bringing Lavabox to the market. We also, if you have a small company, we'd love to partner with you. If you don't feel like you have enough to give to make an impact, I have another little separate section of Lavabox called Project Little Bird, and we would love to have you guys partner with us, and so you can feel like you're making a bigger impact with your small business. So Yeah.
I love it.
Busy.
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
magic of that is, right, is you're getting people coming into your community and supporting your cause, but you're also giving back, or whatever that collaboration is.
I'll tell you one thing. There is, of course, there's a business aspect to this. I told you in one of our things that everything is built on data for me. And so I know also, and it's not all just altruism, I know that when we do those partnerships, we are sharing the algorithm, right, that gets us in front of people's eyeballs. So every time I work with somebody, I'll do a free custom box for a lighter company. All of those customers who are the lighter customers are thinking about Lavabox now, and they see us in a light. We're an authorized, person, an authorized product in their eyes, and I think that's like absolutely critical, right? We don't hear people who, that may not be authorized or in our position, and I think once you make that partnership, it completely changes the consumer's mind.
That's brilliant. I love it.
Want more support in creating your success story? My products can help. Check them out. First, I have my book, Be the Magic of You, Tools to Transform Your Life. And in it, I have over 70 different tools to help reprogram your brain. Next, I have my daily intentions planners. They help you create without forcing it. They combine brain science and universal laws. In addition to my book and planners, I also have 2 card decks you're sure to love, designed to support you to reconnect with your purpose, power, and potency. I also offer 2 special packages. The first is the Success Package. In it, you'll have my book and a year's supply of planners to help you bundle and save. Next is my favorite, the Empowerment Package. You can supercharge your life and business by getting all the products at one low price. But wait, there's more. I also offer a yearly subscription called the 7-Figure Business Box. Each quarter, you'll receive a physical box mailed to your home, a live 2-hour intensive training, an hour-long fireside chat with an expert in the industry, a guidebook packed with even more resources. To order anything you see here, just go to my website, talkingwithteri.com.
Well, and then also, there was something that came along your way that made a huge impact on your business.
I didn't know they were going to do this.
You were on Shark Tank.
I was. I'm not coming on any more stuff with you, Teri. That's it. It's over.
That's pretty fun.
That was good.
That was good. You didn't know that was coming in.
I did not.
But you were also on Shark Tank, which made a huge impact. And I'll be honest, I have seen your episode, and I don't watch TV, but there's at my old building, there used to be a TV out there, and I saw your show so many different times.
Yeah, they play it a lot.
They do play it a lot. So tell us that experience.
Yeah, look out!
Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm going to give you a shark to take
That's such
home.
an angry shark. I think sharks are awesome.
No, it does look aggressive. I know. I love that. Mary, was that you? I love it. So tell us about that experience, and then what went on, and then just kind of how that's impacted your business.
Sure. So, I can't. Obviously, there's a lot of NDAs. There's a lot of control over the show, for good reason. It does take away from the magic of the show. And you can read, if you want more information about some of the machinations behind the scenes. Forbes did do an expose in last year. In 2023, that really pulled away a lot of the secrets, which was maybe a little unfortunate for folks. I also was not a huge fan of the show. I shouldn't say that on record. Actually, when I showed up at the studio in Culver City, they were driving us around, and they had a little cart, because you can't ever leave, like they never leave their sight. And so I'm driving in the cart, and we drove by this giant thing of Alex Trebek, and I said, "Oh, that's my favorite show." And the guy's like, "It's not Shark Tank." It's like, no, yes, Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank. It was not great. But so anyway, I applied right after we opened the business. And the reason I did is because it's about 8 months after I started Lavabox, a competitor released a product that was almost identical to my product. They're a big entity. They had already had products in REI, some of the major retailers that we would look at. And so I had to figure out a way to level the playing field. I think, if I'm being really honest, I think that a lot of people would have folded right then, because this thing was really nice. It's a nice product. They even used my story. So willfully used my story. Lawyers got involved, the whole thing. And it was a bummer. And so I immediately thought, how do I level the playing field? Because I'm going to keep going. That's always the answer. So I said, all right, I'm going to apply for Shark Tank. I did a initial screen treatment. I don't know what they call it. I can't remember. But I did a video, sent a video. They were like, all right, we love you, but we're not, you don't have any sales, so you're out. But we might call you next year and see what happens. So they did. They called me back the next year. At that point, we were edging near $1 million in sales. It was pretty crazy in our second year. We were like, who are we? They said, come on the show. You go through a number of steps, and I'm going to tell you that it is laborious. I mean, it's absolutely rigorous, questionnaires and, all these pieces and parts, and lots of video, lots of tests to see if you're the right look and feel for the show, which is, was wonderful. I gladly did it, but it was like having another job. So if any of you are considering it, I'm happy to talk to you in more intimate detail about it. But it is a whole nother job, right? Because you have to look the part, you have to be the part, you have to have all the right components. And I also refused. People always ask me this, like, were you nervous? Well, of course I was nervous, but I also was not going to be the guy who made that face that they always show, or they caught you off guard. I was like, don't be that guy, because they always ask the gotcha question, and the whole time they're telling you that it's really funny. They're like, we're not in the gotcha business, and I'm like, you guys are 100% in the gotcha business, and I'm not gonna make the face. so I think I did make the face once. I can't remember if they showed. I think they showed it, but So I trained for 4 months, got ready, and then flew to Culver City, and I really was ready. Like, I felt very in it. And I understood it, and I tried to keep myself loose and relaxed. And it is 100% gotcha. They count down behind the scenes. You're standing behind the door, and they go 10, 9, 8, and there's big robotic cameras that are right behind the door, and they open the doors, and they're like, don't look at the camera, but the first thing you look at is the camera. You're like, oh God! There's a huge camera right here, and it's sweeping away from you. And then, of course, you walk out, and they say, don't look at the mark on the floor, but I looked right at the mark. I was not a good Shark Tank contestant.
But on the show, though, the sharks had a frenzy, because I think
they did.
All of the sharks except for one.
Correct.
Had an offer for you.
It is true.
And then you went with Laura.
I went with Lori.
Lori. Yeah.
Yep, Lori Grenier. And I actually spoke to her husband yesterday, so we did, made a friendship. But if you read the Denver Post, the deal did not go through. It was amicable. No, it was totally.
And I think you need to, let people in on that piece of it, because I did not know this about Shark Tank either.
Well, this used to be something we couldn't talk about.
Oh.
God, Teri. But now it's too late.
What happens on the stage stays on the stage.
Yeah, right. I could see the people on the web over there.
Sorry.
Shh.
I'm not a rule breaker. I'm not a rule follower either.
So no, it's not a secret. It's not a secret anymore. But they actually don't close every deal they do with the handshake. And I just like everybody else in TV land, I had no idea. I thought they were gonna hand me a suitcase of cash, man. It's like, this is awesome. No, Where's the gun? I thought that was gonna sprinkle cash on me. I'll take a shark.
An angry shark.
That one does look mean. So they don't close them all. You actually do a year of due diligence, believe it or not. And the other part that should be known is that you are locked out of any other investment for the entire time you're part of the show. So for all of you who are entrepreneurs, you can imagine not raising any money for all of that time as a brand new business. So it was tough.
Yeah.
That was really, really tough. And believe it or not, they used to take I don't know if you guys remember this I've watched every episode now. I know everything about Shark Tank. But I was ready. I was ready. But they used to also take equity as well to be on the show, just automatically off the top. I don't know if you can imagine this. I mean, it was nuts. So anyway, I was totally fine with the way it worked out. I sold a month's worth of product in a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and your show keeps going. I mean, that's the publicity piece of it that has helped continue.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a what do I want to say? Prestige. For
No question.
Yeah.
No question. Legitimacy that it lended to the business was very hard to duplicate anywhere else. I mean, once again, that authorized in the buyer's eyes was something that just completely changed the business.
Especially for the sharks. I mean, for having all the sharks say yes to your product.
It was great. It was great. But but once again, I think we could have done. I mean, it was wonderful, but it wasn't the make or break. It was never the make or break. And I just want it was a great part of it, and it did put us on a different scale, especially on social media, which I drive my entire business. Right now, we do about 90% of our sales direct consumer. We are following kind of the Solo Stove. You guys know the Solo Stove, that thing, that big fire pit. They're doing $400 million a year or so, and I want to see us do the same thing with the same online presence that they had, and that was all built on lifestyle. And so Shark Tank was part of our lifestyle play. It's always been like, for a lot of our customers and for everybody, you want to be in a tribe. We want to create that tribe for you, and that was what the brand was all about. Because there are plenty of fire pits on the market, but ours is the cool one that you want to put on your truck or show off to your friends or, be part of our tribe, and the family flame, as we call it.
Yeah. So. Well, and the other thing is that you've been very innovative, and I think this is really important for all the entrepreneurs in this audience. Is like how you didn't just create one product. Now you are making, I think, is just as much, if not more, on the accessories.
We do,
that go with it. So that's the innovation. Do you want to? And he's going to be around here for lunch afterwards and stuff. So feel free to grab him and ask him questions as well.
Yeah, I'm also like can't quit. I have to make the new thing. So I do have a little shiny object problem. Actually, it's only to make new things. And what we did to kind of quell that sensation all the time, because I actually have two really great core people in my group. We all met river surfing. We surf on standing rivers in the or standing waves on the river. It's really a weird thing.
I've seen that. How do you guys do that?
It's really weird.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I wrote
so. It's like you're getting pulled behind the boat.
But we're actually in the river.
It's the coolest thing.
So this is a sidetrack, but really quickly, we wrote a bond for the city of Inglewood. Anybody live in Inglewood? Anybody in the hood? No. So close, yeah. So we wrote a bond. I wrote a bond in 2018 for the voters to vote on to bring in $3 million to build a wave in the South Platte River. It's right on Union Avenue, right behind the not Top Golf, but that golf place there. And the voters voted for it, which was kind of crazy. So we built this awesome surfing wave in the river, and that's where all my team met. But I was going to say, to put us back on track, we all are very creative. They're both professional musicians. We all play music, and so it was like, how do we not channel it all into like, let's make every new thing we can? And we decided to take our social media, our need to make more social media, because that's a very hungry monster is content. And so I was like, all right, let's find something that will get people excited, that lets us have a really creative outlet, and also is great for the business. And so we started doing side projects. And I gladly pay them for it because it really brings in followers. They see us doing something. It's just our passion. And I think it could work for anybody. But it's our passion to build really cool things. Right now we're building a six-wheel amphibious vehicle from 1959. And people like watching it. We're actually building an electric. Of course, it was gas originally. And so and we're just finishing the drivetrain. And people are really excited about, especially our demo, thinks that's really neat. And it lets us do something that is not related to this, keeps the employees happy, everybody's excited to work on it, everybody's very proud of our project, and I think that's...
Well, and the other thing is...
It's interesting, I just don't see a lot of companies doing that, because it's so focused. you're so focused on the product and you're shoving it down people's throats all the time. And I don't think that's what people want anymore, especially, I mean, I think a lot of us are acculturated to it, especially if you're like 50 and above, you're kind of used to getting hammered with product.
Yep.
I don't think that's the same for a lot of demographics. I hate to make sweeping generalizations, but data says it's not the same. So that the fact that we want to talk to people who are younger, don't want to have corporate masters tell you this is what you have to have. And so I think to have this thing that's completely unrelated to our product, that engages them is a very different situation. So
well, some
of the marketing people will disagree, but it's worked great for us.
Yeah, and hey, if it's working, why fix something that's working, right? But the other thing is from an energetic perspective, it brings. I mean, you get excited talking about it. I'm certain your team gets excited talking about it, and then from an energetic perspective, it helps elevate the business from that perspective.
And there is a little P.T. Barnum in there. I mean, like there really is. I mean, like that just over the top. Here's what we're doing. We drive around with a trailer that I built a bar into.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like this whole scene, and people really like that thing. And that's over the time.
That's your personality, though.
Yeah,
your
we are true to
personality.
ourselves. There's no question.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and so I think innovation and creativity is key here. And then the other thing is and you shared this nugget with me. When you ship, he's like, oh gosh, what is happening? This is like a magic chair, by the way. I'm just gonna keep pulling stuff out from it, okay? But
what's about to happen after the sharks?
I know. Okay, so but when you ship these to people, what do people say they love the most?
Oh, it's really funny. We still. I think it's really fun. You guys ever get stuff and you get like a little special treat in your? I love that. And so we send everybody fireballs when they order a Lavabox. So they get a goodie bag just like you get when you go to a kid's birthday party and they get fireballs in their goodie bags.
I might have some more.
So
okay.
we're pretty whimsical when it comes to that stuff. So.
But I just think it's
Oh my God! Don't hurt anybody, Teri. My eye.
I was a little aggressive there. I was trying to go far. My daughter should be doing this.
But we get more comments about the fireballs than anything else. It's so funny.
But the reason why I'm saying this is because that is something small and tiny that makes a big impact.
Huge.
Right? And so it doesn't. I think sometimes as owners, as business owners and entrepreneurs, we overthink things. Fireballs, which were really hard to find and track down.
They are.
But that's a unique thing. And I talked to somebody the other day. I was calling places, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that." But, oh, that's a good one. But just little things that can have a big impact because you get a lot of social media attention from that.
You're not going to get that from that competitor that ripped us off right away. And I tell people that just straight up. I just tell them, I'm like, you're getting something completely different from us, and it's going to feel different, and it's going to excite you, and it's going to be something that really makes you feel special. And that was the whole point.
Okay, we're going to do a lightning round with these 3 questions.
Let's go.
I clearly am not tracking time here. Okay, so what's the biggest limiting belief that you had to overcome?
Imposter syndrome. I always worry that I'm not enough.
Okay. How do you get yourself unstuck when you get in your own way?
Because I'm a creative kind of person, I actually use exercise mostly.
Perfect.
It really helps me get through what I need to get through.
All right. Final words of wisdom for everyone.
And drinking.
Okay. Final words of wisdom here. Final words.
Final words of wisdom. Oh God, this is always the big one. It just kills me, and I was sort of ready. But the real ready is you're good enough. Go do it. Like you can believe in yourself. You can do it, and it's so trite and so you say it every day, but man, you got to wake up and actually believe it. Yeah. And I will say, I write everything down. I really do set goals and say this is what I want to see us do, and believe that I could be a billionaire. Why not?
Why not?
Because I want to do more good. Somebody saying earlier about, I think it was you. I'm not just kissing your but I do think that I always want to make the biggest impact possible, and I do think that cash was an important part of that. And so I do believe in that idea that prosperity will someday pay out into that world. And so, yeah.
I love it. All right, so he's going to be sticking around for lunch, and then afterwards we're going to do some pictures with you after lunch. And can we?
Oh, I had some.
Oh, yes.
Anybody hat wearer?
Thank you. Oh, my gosh.
There we go.
I love it. All right.
I got a few. Yeah, you throw them out.
I'm going to throw them out.
I'm going to go pick up those hundreds right now, though. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think that's hers.
And also, why don't we have you stand out here for a second, because you know what? Josh has been so gracious. I mean, we have such amazing givers in here. He is going to give away a Lavabox. So grab out your tickets.
Do I get to call it out?
Yes. Hey, Brooklyn. Yes. This is my daughter. Brooklyn, you want to? Can he?
All right, everybody got the tickets out. All right. I'll do my best.
All right, here we go.
I gotta get my ticket out. I want to win it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It could happen. All right, I'm gonna assume that we're all 4 3 zeros. Yes. Next number is 0. I wanted to hear the boos, like, oh. 5. I love that. 0. 5 0 5 0. Oh, my friend. That is not rigged.
That's perfect. I love it.
Perfect.
Well, let's give Josh a huge round of applause.
Thank you very much for having me, Teri. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell to find out about my upcoming shows. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time.